The Education Channel presents District Digest, an inside look at the Collier County Public School District. First, the latest news.
Thanks for joining us. Here's what's happening. From solar car races to geocaching, students from all of our elementary, middle, and high schools came together for one of the most exciting events of the year, the iSTEM competition.
We're ready for race number one, guys. On your mark, get set, go.
Both cars off to a good start.
Great race, guys. Both cars did a very
Hey! Snake!
Is that it? Well, wait, it said waypoint 5. Are we on waypoint 5 right now?
Where's the 2?
We have all 50 schools here competing against each other. It brings out the best in all of us. So just to see the excitement.
Immokalee flies out of the gate. East Naples is coming back. But Immokalee, 2 marks.
All the ideas to tie into what they study.
I woke up at 1 in the morning and I thought it was time to wake up and I just started writing in my notebook. I woke up at like 3. I woke up at 4. I woke up at 6:50.
She was writing down different strategies and, if this theme comes up, what would I do? And if this theme comes up, and what would I do?
We did something we didn't usually do at home, and especially with my friends, it's a good feeling.
An example of a transform boundary is the San Andreas Fault in California. Yeah.
I think that just watching the kids and their level of engagement, their level of creativity, and their teamwork is absolutely what it's about. Really preparing them for those big life skills that you're going to need in adulthood and all throughout life.
To see our middle schoolers racing solar cars, the kids asking again like last year, can we do it again next year?
We learned that teamwork can pretty much accomplish anything.
This is why we do what we do. I take such pride and such joy in their engagement and their excitement.
To have the high schools sit here and run all over a campus.
The best part is just learning about new things that you never probably knew before.
We have to think, we have to cooperate, we don't have to do this on our own. We have a team, we have friends.
It's just great to put our kids on a college and university campus. It just is a fulfill of a phenomenal dream that our teachers make happen every day, but to have a big competition like this, you can't have a better day.
Now coming up on this edition of District Digest, the best ways to keep learning alive during the summer break. Plus, we'll learn about the district's summer food program. And finally, we'll share some important summer safety tips for our students, parents, and the community. That's all straight ahead on this edition of District Digest. Plus,
This is Tracy Collier. Join me for a special feature here on District Digest. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll tell you what's cool in school.
please stay with us here on the Education Channel, your window to education. On the air on Comcast Cable 99 and online on the World Wide Web at collierschools.com. Before we return with our first guest, CCPS recently launched an employee recognition program. Here's Dr. Patton with CCPS Proud.
Hi everyone, I'm really excited. I'm excited because we have a new way to be able to recognize you, our outstanding over 7,000 employees. So we have a new employee recognition program. The first part is CCPS Proud. That's what we are of you. P is in passionate, R is in responsible, O outstanding, U understanding, and D dedicated. Those words are just some of the many words that I use to describe our outstanding employees. But I'm not the only one CCPS Proud.
I'm CCPS Proud.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Kevin Rambosk, and I'm CCPS Proud.
I'm CCPS Proud, and this is how I show it.
Hi, I'm Cindy Dreyfus. I'm an active volunteer here in Collier County, and I am CCPS Proud.
I am CCPS Proud because our district is committed to providing a quality education to all students. We have state-of-the-art facilities, outstanding teachers, and the best students.
I am CCPS Proud because our VOE Panther staff rocks.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Natalie Tejeda y de parte del Departamento de Relaciones de Estudiantes somos CCPS Proud.
As a product of Collier County, I'm proud to have been a longtime teacher and administrator.
On behalf of all 9,500 volunteers, we are all CCPS Proud.
We are CCPS Proud.
Go Tiny Titans!
My name is Nick Kula-Harris with Habitat for Humanity of Collier County, and I'm CCPS proud.
I'm proud to be a part of the Golden Gate High School Academy of Engineering.
I'm CCPS proud.
I'm CCPS proud of our career and technical programs.
I'm CCPS proud.
I'm CCPS proud.
I'm CCPS proud.
I'm Coach Gonzalez, and I'm CCPS proud because I honestly work with the best staff and students in the county out here at Immokalee High School.
I am CCPS proud to work in Immokalee High School, feeding all the students both breakfast and lunch, and working in the best school district in the state of Florida.
Thank you all for your dedication and commitment to our children. Our kids are our most important resource.
We are CCPS proud of you.
Collier County Public Schools.
Today's learners.
Tomorrow's leaders.
Welcome to the CCPS app.
These days, it's all about staying connected on the go.
The CCPS app does it all.
Information for parents, teachers, students, staff,
all in one place.
The home page gives you all the information you need to know about the district.
The side panel gives you access to everything,
from calendars to lunch menus. This is also where you select the schools you want to follow. Then, with a simple swipe, you can access information about your selected schools, get the latest news and events, even access My Grades.
Wait a second, are you sure we really want to do that?
You can also easily share what you're seeing. Bus running late? Share it.
The best part, you can customize what you want to see.
View the calendar of just one school or multiple schools.
You know we're all about social media. Never miss a tweet with one-tap access to the CCPS Twitter feed.
And you can sign up for alerts that you don't miss out on an emergency at school. Get connected. Download the CCPS app today.
Available now in both Apple App and Google Play stores.
District Digest continues with a special feature.
Our first guest is Jennifer Kincaid. She is the Executive Director of Elementary Programs. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning, Katie.
So today we're going to talk about summer vacation and the so-called summer slide. What exactly is summer slide, and why should I worry about it as a parent?
Okay. Summer vacation is an exciting time for kids and families because it really results in a change in schedule for many families. There's a lot more opportunity to have more free time, less structured time, and that can be beneficial in some ways to kids to have that brain break. But one of the things that we see as a downside of that time is that students often lose some of the academic progress they've made during the school year. As you know, teachers and students work very closely on looking at student progress throughout the school year, and when that monitoring goes away and that instruction goes away, it can be challenging. A research scientist named Entwistle has a theory that he refers to as the faucet theory, that as long as the faucet is open, which is when school is open and learning is flowing into children, they continue to make progress and gains. But when the faucet is shut off, instead of just stopping their progress at where they were at the end of the school year, often they start to slide backwards. Thus that term, the summer slide or summer learning loss. And I think parents, teachers, our community, our school district are all on the same side of wanting children to either continue to progress or absolutely not lose any ground over that summer break.
Does this impact one group of students more than others?
Challenge in all districts is that our students often have language role models during the school year for academic language, for English language, that don't always exist necessarily as predominantly in their communities and sometimes in their families. While we absolutely value every student's heritage language and we want them to continue to practice that and to maintain that with their families, it's critical students don't lose their Spanish or lose their Haitian Creole language because that's part of their identity. We know that it's also important to keep that English practice up. So sometimes when they don't practice their English and don't practice their skills, that's kind of a double whammy for those students. And so we want to give parents resources that they can use easily, quickly, inexpensively to do what they can to prevent that summer learning loss.
Are there certain subjects or skills in particular that show the greatest summer learning losses?
If you think about reading and the brain is, think of it like a muscle, and when you exercise something you get stronger. Students get more fluent in their reading. They read with more expression, with more phrasing, more intonation as they practice. You'll notice a young reader often reads word by word, and it doesn't sound like when grown-ups read. It doesn't sound like how we talk when we speak in conversation with one another. So often as students stop practicing their reading, they go back to that halting reading, to word calling, we call it. So reading is one of those areas where we know students often lose ground because it may not be an activity they choose on their own. So we want to provide students with lots of access to text, a wide menu of opportunities. Students can read travel brochures that are available free from the AAA office. They can read takeout menus. They can read magazines or comic books. All of that reading is good reading. There's not one reading that's better than other reading, and textbook reading isn't the only reading that counts. We want to be sure we put lots of print in front of kids, even road signs, signs in the grocery store and in Target, asking them, which one of these says Band-Aid? Which one of these? Show me the Kleenexes that have the best deal today. That's one piece that we see is that they don't continue to practice. Sometimes they lose some ground in reading. Something else we think is very important to practice are math facts and keeping that addition, subtraction, multiplication facts for older students. That fluency piece where they can recall them very quickly and not have to stop and figure them out. As we move into higher and more challenging math, we want students to use less of their attention on calculating the fact and more attention to solving the problem. So as you get more fluent and comfortable with your facts, you don't really have to stop and think, what is 8 plus 5? You can use that attention towards solving the bigger problem, which is a very, very good thing. And we can do that through supermarket math and through asking kids, how much does this weigh? Is that more than a pound or is that less than a pound? How do you know that? Parents can do very simple things just as part of their home environment to make sure kids stay thinking about things that are related to reading and math. Something else we like to advocate for is handwriting practice over the summer, having children write a note to a friend, to a relative, a thank you note. Those things are important, and cursive handwriting is a very adult skill that gets practiced many, many times, and one of the most important skills students can have is the ability to sign their own name. That is important, and parents can easily have students practice that by even writing on a piece of paper what their signature should look like and having their child copy that. That's a way to continue that practice. Something else that's helpful for older students is for parents to write in cursive and have the students read that. Their ability to read cursive and write in cursive is very important as they enter the adult world and the world of work.
Great. Now let's quickly talk about a great resource the district created. What is Keep Learning Alive all about?
The district sees itself as a very important part of a family's team to continue moving progress forward over the summer and not losing ground. So we've created a resource that has curriculum resources for reading, writing, math, science, and social studies at really all grade levels, elementary, middle, and high, for parents. A one-page flyer was sent home with elementary students advising them of how to access the resource. For all other students, you can click on our district website. There is a page that says Summer Learning 2015 that is bright yellow and orange with flip-flops, and it'll take you right to the many summer resources in our community and that our coordinators recommend for parents to use with kids.
Great, I'm looking forward to that. I know I want to use it with my son this summer.
Wonderful.
So thank you very much for all these tips, tools, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Katie.
District Digest continues as we open your window to education, taking you inside the classroom so you can see what's cool in school. With BYOD, STEM, and today's cool school technology, here's Dr. Tracy Collier.
Students at East Naples Middle School participated in a Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, or STEM project using the components of engineering to design, create, and build bridges using materials easily accessible to them. Free technology applications such as Google SketchUp help students create 3D blueprints of their drawings, and then the students went to work scaling their projects into functional models. 7th grader Jason Exantos explains how the engineering design process helped him solve the bridge challenge, making improvements along the way.
For the science part, we had to experiment with a lot of pillars because actually it fell apart on us. And we had to absorb, we had different ideas to use because at first we had cardboard, and then that didn't work out so well. And so we used these wooden sticks. And then for the E part in STEAM, we had to add a lot of support because they kept falling on us, so we had to use string to attach them, and we had to use this to hold it down so it could turn. And for the art part, we painted it blue. We added a lot of decorations and stuff like that in it. And then for math, we had a blueprint. This is it. We had to measure it out so it would fit on the paper, and we scaled it to this size so it would fit nicely across, and it did. And then we had to measure the rope because at first we had it too long and it was kind of flappy. We wanted it nice and tight to look more professional and so it could hold it up better.
Lastly, Deborah Call, a local engineer, helped judge the Open-Ended Bridge Challenge, which emphasized creativity, perseverance, and practicality.
We have to be really creative when we run into problems with design, and I think that with the students, they're looking at these bridges, coming up with designs, and then finding out that certain things don't work. And then they have to find a way around it. And teaching that creativity and that way to work around problems and to do problem solving in the real world is eventually going to make them better workers in the workforce.
And now you know what's cool in school.
You are watching District Digest on the Education Channel.
Our next guest is Dawn Hauser. She is our Director of Nutrition Services for Collier County Public Schools. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
We're here to talk about the summer food program. What exactly is it?
Well, here in Collier, we have a rather large summer food service program. We have about 12 sites, Collier sites, that are school sites, and then Parks and Recs has about 8 sites. And basically, we service just in the schools about 4,000 meals a day, lunch, and we also serve breakfast as well. So any children that wish to participate in that program, 18 years of age and younger, can go to any one of our qualifying sites and go in for breakfast and go in for a healthy lunch. And it's an awesome program, and the students love it. And we just want to make sure that they're taken care of during the summer because there's a tremendous need between the end of school and before school, school begins. We want to make sure that the children are taken care of throughout the summer. And we partner with various outreach groups. We have worked with, and we do work with Parks and Recs very closely. We also work with the Harry Chapin Food Bank and Meals of Hope so that we can provide those meals as well, where the students will come in or children will come in and they'll eat, and then they can bring home the Meals of Hope for the family.
That's fabulous. So how did this program get started?
Well, Parks and Recs initially was doing this when I first arrived in Collier, and then we've partnered with them since then to be able to expand the program and offer it in more locations and, again, service as many children as possible. So we have a really great working relationship with Parks and Recs, and we service all of their parks. And then, again, we've got the program is being offered in 12 schools. So it's 8 Parks and Rec sites and 12 Collier County schools.
So what are the requirements for my child to receive a meal? Do I have to fill out an application?
Nothing. Your child just has to arrive at the school, and we have serving times posted, and then just come in and have a healthy, nutritious breakfast and lunch, hopefully. And then that's all that's required. We don't need any forms. We don't need any information. No requirements on the part of the families other than just to get the child to the school during the feeding times.
And then is there any kind of cost associated with this?
No, it's totally free to the children.
Wonderful. Now, how can I find a feeding site in my area?
Well, there are several ways. If families have access to the district website, they're listed there, or they can go to their school where their child goes and ask where the summer feeding sites are located, and they can provide that information to them.
Okay, and how are these sites selected?
They have to qualify based on the percentage of economically needy, but that's not the only qualification, because during the summer we obviously do most of our major facility projects in the summer months when school is out. So we have to look at that when we're taking that into consideration as far as whether they're putting a new roof on the school or AC or whatever that happens to be. And so we look at the various sites based on that qualification. Is the site available to be used? And then the school has to be 50% or more free and reduced or economically needy. And then we also look at the various educational programs that are going to be offered, because we have multiple programs going on in these sites. And some of them are involving the Marco YMCA or Grace's Place or different entities out there that are within the community, and then all of our educational programs that Collier County Public Schools offers. So we're looking at all of that, and then we put the staff together and we go out, open the program shortly after school ends. I mean, school's ending on a Wednesday, I believe, and the following Monday we'll start summer feeding. So it runs pretty much throughout the entire summer.
That's great. And looking at the list of sites, you guys got Collier County well covered.
Yes, we do. We start in Immokalee and work our way all the way through, and try to provide as many sites as possible so that children have access to healthy meals.
And what kind of food are you guys serving in these sites?
Well, breakfast is basically an entree, a fruit or a juice and milk. And then at lunch, we've got hot entrees, and then we have fruits and vegetables that the children can select, and milk as well. And so we try to pick some of their favorite items so that draws them in, and we know they're going to eat it and they're going to enjoy it, and it's an excellent program. The students have been, the reception has been fabulous.
Great. Well, as we wrap up, I want to ask just how successful has this program been for you guys?
Well, we're growing the program. We started with 9 schools and then expanded it the next year, and this year we're up to 12. And as I said, Parks and Recs has 8 sites. So when you consider we're doing, as I said, 4,000 meals a day, that's quite a bit. We're excited. We want to grow it more, of course, and so it's really working with you and communications and getting the word out to the parents and getting the word out to the community as to which sites qualify and where their children can go. And that's really what we have to do. I mean, that's the goal, is to make sure that as many families as possible know that their child can go to these various locations around the county and receive free breakfast and free lunch.
Well, this is a wonderful program, a well-needed program. I thank you very much for sharing this information with us today.
Thank you.
District Digest continues with a special feature.
Our final guest on this special edition of District Digest is Sergeant Thad Rhodes with the Collier County Sheriff's Office. Thad, always good to have you on the program.
Thank you. Good seeing you again, Leanne.
Now, it seems like we, come to this time of the school year so quickly, the end of the school year, and we're already talking about summer break. And of course, with that, we want to talk about safety, because we're going to have kids out of school and roaming around. So first and foremost, what's probably the biggest bit of advice that you can give to parents as we're heading into summer?
Well, I mean, the school year has really flown by, and it seems like yesterday you and I were sitting here talking about back to school safety, and now here we are talking about end of the year and summer safety. And one of the things that we try to inform parents of, especially this time of the year, is there are, kids are out of school. There's not a lot of things sometimes the kids feel like they can do. So as a sheriff's office, we try to provide them, with as many programs and events as possible. A lot of kids are out roaming the streets, so we ask the community and the parents just to be cognizant of that. Make sure you're locking your doors. If you see anything suspicious in the area, to please call the sheriff's office and let us know so we can respond out there quickly. Mm-hmm.
You talk about communication and just being aware of your surroundings, being aware of what your kids are doing, and making sure that if you haven't set up for some type of a summer camp or summer activity, just at least have some type of structure so that you know what they're doing. But with that in mind, the sheriff's office does have a lot of programs that you offer to do just that for the youth in the community.
Sure, and during the summertime, if you look across the state of Florida, in a lot of counties, the crime rate will go up in the summer times because the kids are on the street and they're doing things they generally wouldn't do. They're out at times they generally wouldn't be out if they were in school. But here in Collier, we try to set up as many programs and events as possible to give kids of all ages, elementary, middle, and high school ages, a chance to do something over the summer to keep them off the streets, to keep them out of trouble, and to really help the parents so they know where their kids are. Our Summerfest activities and our Summerfest program has been going on for 10 years, and each year I think it gets stronger and stronger, and we provide more activities for the kids to, one, enjoy themselves, but two, to stay out of trouble and enjoy themselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, and not only that, you keep them occupied, but also
you know, to continue what the Youth Relations Bureau does throughout the year with our youth relation deputies that are in the schools to act as mentors, to, you know, to be those role models for the students. And then you want to continue that. You don't want to just end at the end of the school year, but you want to continue those relationships during the summertime as well.
Absolutely. Our guys, during the course of the school year, they're in the classrooms, no matter what age group they're at. They're in the classrooms, they're talking to the kids, and like you said, they want to be that mentor for their kids, be there to help them out. But it's nice in the summer for them to be able to go to these programs that we offer and kind of see them outside the school and see what our deputies, you know, that like to have a good time and get involved with these programs. So it's a chance for the kids and the parents to see our deputies in a different light.
So let's talk about the students possibly that aren't going to be involved in any programs. Let's talk about bike safety. What should parents do and what should kids be aware of, you know, as we're heading into the summer months?
Absolutely. You know, and kids, they all travel around their neighborhoods on bikes. That's the way they go, and that's their means of transportation. But we ask parents, just make sure that their bikes have a light on it, that they're following all the rules that any vehicles would follow, because it is a vehicle. So make sure they're following, you know, those rules. Keep track of where your kids are. Know where they're going. Know what, if they're at a friend's house, make sure you know what friend's house they're at, and just stay in touch with them. And you know, and I encourage them to give them a curfew, is when to be home. You know, a young elementary age kid doesn't really need to be out late at night past, you know, in the dark, past sunset. So I would encourage them just to kind of keep up where they are, give them a curfew, but at the same time, it's been a long school year too, so they want to go out and have a good time as well.
And summertime hot, we're talking about beach and the pool and all those water activities. And that's another concern that you know, parents not only during the summertime but during the entire year need to be aware of those water safety.
Absolutely. You know, our community parks are very good. You know, North Naples Water Park, Golden Gate Community Park, they do a great job of opening the pool for, you know, our kids. But it's also a scary thing too. If you're a parent and you're taking your kid to the pool, you have to really pay a lot of attention to what's going on, because it's easy to lose them in the mix. These pools are very busy during this time of year because it is hot out. Our beaches are packed, so you really have to just kind of keep track of your kids and know where they're at.
And then the final thing, we've probably got about 60 seconds. You know, let's talk about nighttime. Kids that maybe, the older students that are driving around, there's going to be obviously more kids on the road, and just that being out in the community. What should students know, what should parents know, and just the community at large?
Our high school kids, you know, they have jobs, they're out and about, their curfew may be extended by their parents in the summertime. So the community just needs to be aware that there are more kids driving. There's going to be more kids on the road at all hours of the night. So they just need to be aware of that and understand that these kids, if you do see them in your neighborhood and they're not supposed to be there, then let us know. But the biggest thing is safety. Our kids need to make sure that they understand there are curfews for you know, based on their age group, but they also need to be careful as well. They need to make sure they're letting their parents know or their guardian know where they're going to be. And so that way parents aren't worried about them. And if they see anything that's troubling to them and it scares them, they need to make sure they let us know as well.
Communication seems to be the key.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thad, thanks so much, and hopefully we'll have another safe summer.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me again.
And we'd like to thank all of our guests on District Digest, and we'd like to thank you for watching. For Katie Tanner and everyone here on the Education Channel, I'm Leanne Zinzer. We'll see you next time.
Join us again for District Digest, your inside look at the Collier County Public School District. The show is produced by the District Communications and Community Engagement Department and the Education Channel, your window to education.